Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. Let Childcare Genius Marketing help you get fully enrolled and fully staffed. Visit childcaregenius.com for more details. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre.
Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre, and we have some exciting news today to share. Tickets for our Childcare Genius Live conference in Las Vegas are on sale starting today. You can now go on our website, and even better, we have a special ticket deal, $200 off per ticket for 1 week only. So until October 7th, so just this week only, $200 off per ticket. So owner tickets are $3.99 a piece, and director tickets are $2.99 a piece all the way until October 7th. No other conference can you go that cheap, and which includes breakfast, it includes snacks. It's a great deal. And Las Vegas conference, check this out. We got room $75 a night on our room block. 75. That is just unheard of to go to a childcare conference. You could bring your whole team for that, plus resort fee and tax. So if you go to childcaregenius.com right now, and you'll probably see the ad pop right up on the screen there. But if you can go to the conference tab, go to Childcare Genius Live, and just click on that tab and then click a buy tickets and get one for all your directors and all your admin team, and bring your husband and maybe bring your cousin, because Vegas is a nice place to go to, and bring them all, and then come to Childcare Genius Live, April 14th, 15th, 16th, downtown Las Vegas, Golden Nugget. What a great venue. You love it there?
I love it.
We're going to have a lot of fun. We're actually heading there next week, so we're going to be working with clients there, but probably do a live from the Golden Nugget pool, so people could see. We're gonna the fish tank and the shark tank. We'll probably should do a live from there. But we're excited because the tickets are going to be real. Well, they're not only a good price, but we added a lot more tickets this year. Last year we maxed out. We sold out early because we only planned on having 200, and we actually fitting a 300 in the room. This year we have a 900 seat ballroom. So we're pretty sure we can not sell it out, but I never say never. So, that's our goal, is to get that thing close to full. But it's going to be a great venue. So don't worry about the overcrowded room we had last year. We got a much bigger venue in the Grand Ballroom this year. So we hope you go right there now. Go to childcaregenius.com and go there and get your tickets today. So we've got a great episode planned. I've got one of my coaches on the line today. We're going to get Lisa Giancarli, and Lisa is a great friend of mine. I've coached her for years in her program and picked her to become a professor on the Childcare Genius faculty. She coaches childcare owners around the world now and is just an amazing professor and coach. She's got a great personality. We have a lot of fun with Lisa.
Definitely.
Her and her husband, Joe, are just fantastic people. So you're going to love this episode.
Let's get Lisa on the line. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast. How are you doing today?
Great. How you guys doing?
Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. How are you today?
Hanging in there. Nice to see you. Thanks for inviting me.
Hot?
Yes. Nice hot August afternoon. It's ramping up for the new school year to start in next week.
Yeah, so we're recording this at the end of August and still a little warm. But fall is only 3.5 weeks away. We're getting there, and before we know it, the snow will be flying. And there we go. We're not the big winter buffs up here in Maine, so But anyway, we wanted to have you on. We've had you on the podcast before, but we're going to refresh and talk about some new content. But for those of the audience who have never met Lisa, can you tell us more about your background, what your life was like before you got into the childcare business? And I know you got a unique story of how you got into business, so I love hearing this.
So as you both know, I had a career in market research. Right before we purchased our center, I was home with raising my kids for 13 years. They were just going into middle school. As you know, my husband, who's a real estate investor, we bought this building thinking that it was going to be an investment. It had a almost defunct child care center in it. And I was asked to run it for a couple of months until we had a buyer, and the buyer backed out and I became the new owner.
And how many years ago was that, Lisa?
2011.
11. So 13 years for something you're going to do 3 months, right?
Yeah, August was our anniversary.
Wow.
Ever curse your husband for that decision early on?
Every day for like probably the first year of it. Yeah, every day.
Every day. And look at you now. You
All day, every day. Yes. It wasn't easy. I'm still here.
And when you'd want something, you'd say, remember what I did for you.
Mhm. Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
good
he
point.
knows.
You have leverage there, don't
Yes. He knows the dues he has to pay.
You're on our faculty of the Child Care Genius University as one of our coaches. What do you like the best about teaching at Child Care Genius University?
I really, really enjoy helping people and creating like a supportive community for people. As I just mentioned, not only did I get in this business out of just being thrown into it, but I knew absolutely nothing about the business. So for being able to have a coach, once I got a coach, it made such a difference in me liking my business, understanding the business, and then having success with the business. So for me, I like to give that back to people and really help them get out of their fears and just befriend them and create a community for them that they could go to and really know that they're not doing this alone.
Love that. It really, when you wake up in the morning and you know you're going to make a difference in somebody's life today, it really, it gives me a lot more purpose, instead of just retiring and doing it. I get up with purpose every day, and I feel like I can make a difference in somebody's life, and people have made a difference in mine. So it's like my payback.
Yeah.
So Lisa, what are you seeing as some of the challenges in childcare owners that we're seeing in our program and around the world? What are some challenges?
Well, the age-old staffing has been hard since COVID. So that's always been a challenge. I think another challenge that we're facing, maybe I think everywhere, but in New Jersey, a lot of it's going on is the universal pre-K and preschool, and really determining, we're losing children to it, but then we're offered the opportunity to do it ourselves. But I actually just sat down with my school district, and it's not as a great of an offer as you might think it is. Like if you think it's going to help you expand your business, it looked like a lot more trouble than it was worth. But that's like a big threat everywhere across the country. Is this universal preschool, pre-K, coming in? I think another struggle maybe a lot of people are having too is like, COVID's over and it's been over for a while. And I think a lot of owners have really depended upon like grant money and funding, and it's not there anymore. So now I think a big struggle is to really understanding their numbers and their financials. And maybe that's not always like an owner's go-to, but it should be, or at least you should have some sort of understanding of it. So I think that's another struggle that we're seeing.
And that I see that as a big one. A lot of people struggling with that now.
Yes.
So yeah, good point for sure.
Before becoming a coach, you were coached by Brian for many years.
Mhm.
Why should someone be part of a coaching program?
Oh gosh, I could talk about that forever. I got into this business in 2011, and I didn't really start in a coaching organization until 2017. So that was like, 5-6 years of just struggling to figure it out myself. And I think you can only get to so far, whether you're like understanding your state's licensing and everything else. But when you become into a coaching program, it's like somebody have had almost all your struggles. And if that specific coach hasn't had all your struggles, somebody in the group has had your specific struggles. So it's like, it creates such a community. And as I mentioned before, like you almost feel like you're not in business by yourself. And I feel like, think about what a coach does, even like on a sporting team, like they want to get this group together to have success, and they want to get the best out of you. And they want to teach you how you get the best out of yourself by like doing all these things like practice or things that we're teaching people, to get to their next step or to progress. It's so nice to have a friend in the business too, like not have no one competes with each other. Like when I got into a child coaching group, of course I had Brian as my coach, but then I made friends and connections with all these other owners. So like you're just creating so much of a bigger community for yourself and resources. Like there's so many people in this business that I could call for anything, ask them for anything, and they would give it to me, whether it be advice or a letter or a price sheet change, whatever it is. Like I think that's the most important thing, is just being part of a group that has all the same vision, the same goals. Like we all want to just better each other.
It sure made going through COVID a lot easier when you had a community, didn't it?
Oh my gosh. And COVID wasn't that, I mean, in retrospect, I don't think it was that difficult, but there was a lot of other owners that were crying that they couldn't make their mortgages or their rent payments, or they didn't have enough kids, or they didn't know how to find the funds, or they didn't understand the PPP,
yeah.
PP and all that kind of stuff. And when you tap into a coaching program, it's just not a person, a coach, it's a whole program, it's a whole community that's there for you,
Agreed. Yeah, it's a tough business to do alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lonely place to be childcare owner, because you can't vent to your staff. Your spouse usually doesn't understand what you're doing either.
Mm-hmm.
So you're all by yourself. And if that's you out there, please reach out to us. Let us show you our community. Brian at childcaregenius.com. Send me an email. You could vent to me. It's a lonely place. I've been there. I spent 15 years without a coach, so I know. I made a lot of dumb mistakes. I'm a military guy. I tried to run like a military operation. That doesn't work very well. They don't like saluting me in the morning. There you go. So they don't like standing at attention. I'm kidding about that part, but it would have been a nice ad, wouldn't it? Anyway, so Lisa, we do 2 live conferences a year, as you know, the fall conference in the Caribbean, the spring conference in Las Vegas. What do you like best about the conferences that we host?
I always like to go to a conference because I feel like being there is just better. It's just better. You get the experience, you get the vibe, you get that camaraderie. I think you're more open to learning. You make connections with other people, which is really important. Like I just mentioned, to actually see people in person that you maybe have seen, during the year when we do our Zoom calls during the week, but to really connect with people. It's just great. And I think too, when you go, every time I've ever gone to a conference, I come back and you just get revived. You just come back and you want to do like so many things. Like it really just fuels you. I mean, there's nothing like being there. There really isn't.
Love that.
Get that experience, and I think the way we do our conferences now with, shortening the days so you're not information overloaded, but the coaches are there for everybody. How we do, casual coaching in the afternoon. It seems to be really good. And I think it also makes people be more comfortable to come to you with what they think might be some silly problem or question when it's so not, but they might not want to ask you and address it in front of like a room full of people. So I think it just gives everybody an opportunity to be comfortable, but still come out with like a good experience, good information, good knowledge, good teaching, and come back with a lot of friends in the business.
And have fun.
And have some fun. Why
some
not?
Fun.
Why
And
not?
especially like our Caribbean conference, because you come back relaxed because you're laying at a beach, every afternoon. And what's not relaxing about that?
When
And
you're in a
they get
relaxed
confident.
state, you know, like when you're in a pool and you're talking to somebody, like we've talked about so much business in the pool, but it's almost like you're just kind of relaxed and you're really just honest and just honest with people and very real. It makes it very real.
I think the conversations are definitely more open and honest in a pool than they would be in a classroom.
Of course,
There's
right.
something about, I don't know, something about in a pool with a drink in your hand and you're just relaxed and you're looking at the crystal blue water of the Caribbean and an infinity pool. I mean, there's just nothing more chill than that. And I think your brain allows you to receive the message a lot better when you're in a
A
relaxed
lot,
state.
a lot.
You're not coming at it from a stressed and anxious anxiety position. You're coming at it from a relaxed. And I think your brain can compartmentalize the data better. And I think you come back home and you get more action done. That's the secret. Is
Absolutely.
action for sure.
Absolutely.
How do you juggle being a business owner, a coach, a wife, and a mom?
I'd have to say that like one doesn't take priority over the other all the time, right? Like some days my business needs me more. Some days my family needs me more. Some days Lisa needs a checkout for the day and I myself needs me more. So I think sometimes as business owners, like it's like the business and it's like your marriage and it's like your kids and it's like your downtime or your me time. And it shouldn't be that way. It's just I think I've definitely have had success in really balancing when I need to balance. Like there's weekends that I've come in here and worked my butt off. And then there's times where like my weekends are my precious time, or I go out with my girlfriends, or I take a vacation, or I go out with my husband. Like, so I think it's just like, it's exactly what you're saying is balance. It's not like a hierarchy. It's, you know, your business will still be there if you take a 2-week vacation, but it's all about like setting yourself up right and really trusting the people that you hire and really not micromanaging them and letting them believe that they know what they're doing. Because my staff will tell you, like, they're better than me at what they're doing, or they wouldn't be doing it. I would be doing it, but like, they're fabulous at what they do and they're great. And, you know, recently, you know, I've been injured and I've been out of the school for a little bit with, on medical leave. And that's one thing I really didn't worry about was like how the school was going, because I knew they were handling it just as better than if I could even have handled it. So I think that's another thing that we teach. Some people come from like being directors as being owners, and it's hard to, I always say this, fire themselves as the director, because then you got to be the owner. And I think sometimes like we really just teach people how to be owners, you know, and that's a really important thing too, because it's not easy to go sometimes from that step to that step. You know?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to teach your directors to be directors if they were teachers. So you have to teach your owners to be owners if they were directors.
Of
Very
course.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we do inside our university. And we have to teach, sometimes we have to teach ownership because they think like a director sometimes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think as an owner, you have to have a little bit of like people say you're a jack of all trades. Like in this industry, you have to be a jack of all trades. You know, you can't always go down that rabbit hole of like every single thing that happens in your school, but you definitely have to be more like up here and know what's going on in all the different areas of the school and all the different aspects of the school, but you can't go deep. You have to be very broad in knowing what's going on.
Because you're the captain of the ship. The captain doesn't know what goes on in engineering, but he knows a basic understanding of engineering,
Right.
but he couldn't fix the engine.
Right.
He can get people around who can fix it, but you got to have
Exactly.
a general knowledge of everything and trust your people to have the advanced knowledge in every other category.
Absolutely. And sometimes you have to do some dirty work. Like, look, I have a cook. She cooks every day. There was a couple days last year when I had to cook, but I kind of like cooking. So I cooked for the kids, but you know, you got to unstop a toilet sometimes and you got to cook and you got to, you know, you got to do some dirty work, but you shouldn't be doing it all the time, because then you don't make time for the bigger picture things. Like as a business owner, you definitely have to have that big picture mentality.
Got to be willing to do the job, but not necessarily
Right.
cook every day.
Doing it exactly.
Dollars, right?
Exactly.
Like if you're leaving and there's trash sitting there waiting to be taken out, grab it and take it out.
Of course, you know, when I walk through my parking lot in the
Nothing
morning and I see trash all over, you know, in the parking lot, like I pick it up.
Yeah.
Throw it out, you know.
And that's an example, because somebody's going to see you doing it and realize, you know what, that she's not beneath her. And when they see it, then they're going to do it. Lead
Sometimes
by
they'll say that to you. Like, it's
100%.
funny. I like to go in the kitchen and do dishes, like, because with the 3-dip sink, sometimes I just like it. I like to submerge and rinse, and they'll come in and they'll be like, Miss Lisa, you're doing the dishes? I'm like, yeah, I'm really having an enjoyable afternoon. Like, leave me alone. But sometimes it's like silly things like that that don't bother. I'd rather do that than unclog a toilet. But but it's just sometimes it's like the silly things, that you don't mind doing anyway, but they don't need to know that.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, thank you, Lisa, for coming on the Child Care Genius podcast. You definitely helped some people out today. Give them some motivation, give them inspiration.
I hope.
And we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks at our conference. And take care and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
On the line.
Love her attitude, love her spirit.
Yes.
She's a great lady and very knowledgeable and really has a passion for helping people.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking for when we're looking to hire a coach. We have never hired a coach that wanted to be a coach. We look for people that just have giving hearts, and we ask them to join our team. It's something every single coach of ours, this is something that they weren't striving to be a coach, to be on stage. They were just wanted to help other people, and we're already helping other people just on their own. I'm like, you need to be part of our team, helping other people.
Yeah.
I'm so glad she's part of the Child Care Genius faculty. But if you're struggling in your childcare business and you need help, please reach out to us. Email me, brian@childcaregenius.com, and ask, this is how could we help you? So let us know what you're struggling with. And if you're a center owner and you've never done a call with me, or it's been over a year and you'd like to do a call with me, I'll give you a free coaching call. Just go to childcaregenius.com. Under the coaching tab, you can select, I'd like a free coaching call, and get on my calendar and let's talk about some of the issues you are struggling with. You should not be struggling in silence. You shouldn't be struggling alone. Let us help walk through it. I've coached thousands and thousands of people through these different scenarios. Nobody on earth has coached more people than me in the childcare space, helped through their problems. Let me help walk you through it, and let me help you get on the other side so you can live your best life. So this concludes this episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. Again, thank you for listening. Don't forget to hit to leave a review on Apple Reviews, at Apple Podcasts, a review for us, and then go ahead and hit the like button as well.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Guys.
Thank you for listening to the Child Care Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.